Amigos, a todos nuestros amigos de la familia Knox en London. Saludos a todos. Gracias, Brenda. Gracias, Iván, a toda la familia Knox que nos acompaña. Hoy tenemos grandes, importantes invitados. Tenemos a Tiffany Nelson. Tiffany, you want to say hi? You want to wave? Yes,
Hello.
yes, she has a great Spanish. 99% of the conversation is going to be in Spanish, right?
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
That's right. Yeah. So, rapidísimo, bueno, habíamos platicado las sesiones pasadas de temas de, obviamente, sustentabilidad, ¿no? De lo que hace Knox en el tema de proyectos sustentables, ¿no? Y en los proyectos que hace Knox, ¿no? Mi nombre nuevamente es Hugo Hernandez, estoy con la empresa Inergency y Green News, y tenemos otros portales digitales, ¿no? Muy concentrados en el tema de qué, de sustentabilidad, muy afines a los objetivos y a la misión de Knox, ¿no? Y hoy tenemos a Tiffany Nelson y el tema que tenemos hoy es que resiliencia, que el tema sería como no hay una traducción perfecta, pero resiliencia significaría como el poder reponerte y levantarte rápidamente, ¿no? De cualquier vicisitud. Entonces, por ejemplo, lo que tenemos en la Ciudad de México, ¿no? Similar a Estados Unidos, y tal vez otras partes de la República Mexicana, pues tenemos algunos retos, ¿no? Los temblores, un apagón de luz, temas así, que representan un riesgo, ¿no? Entonces lo que queremos platicar es cómo podemos recuperarnos de cualquier situación como comunidad, como ciudadano, y también vamos a ver qué soluciones existen desde el punto de vista tecnológico, ¿no? Entonces ese es el tema que vamos a platicar, ¿no? Cómo podemos reinventarnos, ¿no? Reinventar nuestra vida, nuestra comunidad, nuestra familia, nuestro negocio de forma rápida y efectiva, y obviamente a través de soluciones tecnológicas que están haciendo, ¿no? Entonces ahora vamos a tener nuestra sesión bilingüe en inglés. So we have Tiffany Nelson. Thank you for being here today, Tiffany.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah. So you are on Vegas, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. What time is in Vegas right now?
It is just after 5 o'clock, so it's about 5:25.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving you some time from your busy schedule. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, I know that you do webinars, digital marketing, but can you tell us in your own words, you know, what Tiffany's about?
Yeah, so currently I'm the CMO of IoT Marketing, and IoT Marketing is a digital agency, and we help with fueling the growth of IoT and technology businesses. And we do that through our webinar series, which is called Industry Insights Webinars. And we bring together industry experts and leaders and professionals to talk about industry challenges and how technology is being used in a new industry each month. And then we also do a series of summits, and one of those is the Green Things Summit we're going to talk about today that just passed, and we'll have that coming up again next April. And we also have our Summit of Things, which will take place this October, and that also involves a little bit of sustainability. We try to weave that into everything. So
yeah, absolutely.
And we also have an award show. So that's a little bit about me and what I do.
That's beautiful. And how did you come with the idea of, you know, doing digital marketing for tech companies? How did you come with that idea, and how did you create, you know, the great Internet of Things?
Well, prior to IoT Marketing, I was working for another tech company, and I saw the pandemic coming from a distance, and I had just transitioned into IoT Marketing and taken over as CMO, and I knew that our current strategy wasn't going to work because we were using trade shows, and I love trade shows, but I knew that there weren't going to be trade shows for a while with the pandemic on the way. Yeah. And I suggested that we pivot to webinars, and that worked out really well for us because during such a time of just confusion, we were able to be that voice talking to different industries on how they can implement technology to help them through these difficult and challenging times. And it was also a great way to keep the IoT and tech ecosystem connected. So with that in mind, we've covered 29 different industries and talked about how technology is being used. And 2 of those webinars were about green topics. One was going green with IoT, where we talked about green the green use of IoT, as well as the shift to Earth 4.0 about how's all this technology and industrialization really going to impact the planet. And so we kind of pulled all that together and created the Green Things Summit so we can talk about all of these topics in more detail. We always have international speakers, so it's great to give them a platform to be able to go into a little more depth about what they really are passionate about.
Absolutely. And that was like, I'm trying to remember, but that was kind of a fuzzy, like 2 years, no? 2 years, 3 years of COVID. I remember when they closed the parks, when, like even the schools, everything, say like, it's just going to be 2 weeks. It's just going to be 2 months. And then just roll over to forever, no?
I feel that we're still in a pandemic of sorts. I mean, given the official pandemic is over, I'm glad that there's no more masks. But things have changed. And so it's in the post-pandemic world we're living in, it's definitely a digital first world. So it's all about adapting and being resilient and being agile. So that's what we try to shine through.
Absolutely. And I bet on Vegas, so the thing that you may do, like, on the other parts, there was a big transition because Vegas is like a conference and trade show and live events driven, no?
Exactly. When I realized what a threat this pandemic was going to pose to trade shows, I really started diving into it and was thinking, well, gosh, that's really going to impact the economy. I mean, how many things rely on trade shows? There's restaurants, there's hotels, there's the airlines and travel. I mean, for 90% of the entire world to be travel halted, it really shook things up.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. A lot of people, like even, kids, start to learn how to use Zoom. Teachers don't know how to do it, but overnight, teachers and everybody need to be, Zoom, Google, whatever was the platform. Not doing any commercial for any company, but suddenly everybody needs to, even do all the solutions, apply for what should be like the thing that happened even for elders or people who were not digital. Get your COVID test, make an appointment for your COVID test by phone, send a text. A lot of things that people who were not digital start to use, right?
Yeah, and we even did a webinar on expanding education and what was happening in education because it really changed just the entire environment of going to school. I mean, no matter what level of school you were in, things changed. And I couldn't imagine being a young one during that time when you couldn't see your teachers' faces or if you were even able to go to school, So it definitely changed things. And then it brought in this whole virtual reality aspect into the schools, which was a really interesting change. And I don't see that necessarily going away or the fact that so much education is available online, but definitely brought about some changes.
It's going to change. So if that's okay with you, I want to share just like a little video about, the Green Internet of Things. And then we jump into, some solutions that you have seen in the industry, about, how can, companies can use technology, to get better and, apply the Internet of Things. So just real quick, a short video, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Thank you for making it. It's very nice.
Absolutely. So hopefully you like it. At first I'm going to go to open this is let me see. This should be, okay. Let me see if you can see it. Okay. I think I need to do bigger. Let me just double check that this here. Okay. I think we have a screen there, right? Can you see it?
No. Not on my end.
Let's see. Brenda, can you see a screen there? Working? Well, usually, like everything, I have to, run it like a couple times. So hopefully it works,
The web. It was a collection of static websites used for information sharing. Then came the concept of Web 2.0. Once upon a time, there was something called the web. It was a collection of static websites used for information sharing. Then came the concept of Web 2.0, where the web became more interactive and user-driven. Now we have Web 3.0, or the Internet of Things. This refers to the interconnectedness of devices, from our phones to our refrigerators, all sharing data, and relies heavily on artificial intelligence and promises to revolutionize the world around us. And to learn more, we recommend you to follow and connect with Tiffany Nielsen, founder of IoT Marketing LLC and the Green Things Summit, and you can find them also at iotm.com. And now some music before we start our session at Nooks London.
In a world that's constantly changing, Emerging tech is what's rearranging our lives, our homes, our way to be. And we call it the green internet of things, thanks to Tiffany Nielsen, Brand Marketing LLC, Industry Insights webinars every day. It's the green internet of things, thanks to Tiffany Nielsen, and we call it the green internet of things, thanks to Tiffany Nielsen.
I just need to make like a small pause because I got something on my eye. Just 1 second, and I just get a little bit sentimental when music comes, right?
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so there's a big evolution, and I'm happy that you like the video. I love the lady with the wonderful hair. I wish I could, get a hair like that, but
I know, me too. That would be great.
yeah, I talk with people, and say, hey, how can I do some curly? And it takes a minute to grow your hair, and of course make it curly and all of that. And of course, that's a virtual avatar, and that was done, I think, with some of these scientific media, solutions that they are there. But anyway, thank you for being here again, Tiffany. So what have you seen, in terms of the real life experience and the companies that you talk, for instance, when we started this year? What was it? There was some snow blitz in New York. There was California, there was some big rain, and there was some flood. There was some, winter blitz, so we had, that was just the beginning of the year, and of course, there's a way through technology to detect, what's coming and how could be, better prepared for any emergency. So which kind of, new things have you seen when you talk to your tech companies that you represent and your work? Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a lot happening with the climate. I mean, there's massive flooding in Florida, for one. I couldn't believe the flooding that's happening there, the tornadoes. And IoT is used a lot for weather monitoring. So it can keep track of how much rainfall is happening and what kind of level of winds and all different kinds of things to be able to share that data and collect it. And then they use like AI and computer vision and machine learning to really pull all this data together and make better data-driven decisions and give people early warning when there's a storm coming and what kind of impacts we'll see. And I think some people have maybe a false idea of global warming, and they think, oh, well, it's cold. It's even colder than normal, so it's not global warming. But climate change is a little bit different because it'll get hotter than we've ever seen, and it'll get colder than we've ever seen. But it's about the change that's happening, and there's a really sensitive fine line around this 1.5 degrees Celsius. And so there's a lot of efforts being made to come up with these different digital strategies to prevent some of the catastrophic damage that could happen if we go above that 1.5. And the goal is to do that by 2030 and 2050.
Right. Yeah, and that's interesting because, for instance, the United States is one of the few countries that the same season they have heat waves and winter blizzards almost the same day, like one place completely warm, people cannot, be on the heat, and another place, cannot stand the cold, so that's like a big challenge, and of course, when that happens, sometimes you run out of electricity, run out of water, not toilet paper, so a lot of things, are going to happen that the supply chain is different because you don't have water that day or because you don't have, enough employees. So there's a lot of things that hopefully, with technology, we can try to be, ready, right?
Definitely. And there's a couple ways to view what green IoT really is, because you can use the Internet of Things for green practices, which I just named a few ways. But then the green IoT, the greening of IoT and the Internet of Things itself, that involves like green computing and green networking, green manufacturing, green design, all to kind of push things where they're using like greener data centers. and
That's
more
correct.
sustainable materials to be able to facilitate all of these devices in a sustainable way that doesn't wreck the environment as it's trying to save it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because being green means like how you use less time, less energy, less
And
hard
do
drive
more with less.
space, well, any kind of thing, no? Yeah.
Yeah, to do more with less is the whole
Right,
idea.
more with less, that's correct. And of course, less of everything, like a prime life with less resources, no? With less resources, right?
Yeah, it's really the 3 R's that I learned about when I was in school, the reduce,
Right.
reuse, recycle. But now
Right,
it's kind of adding another dimension of that on rethinking
right.
how we've done things in the past to make a better future than the route that we've taken with industrialization and industry. They say there's industry 1, industry 2, industry 3, industry 4, and we're just approaching industry 4 where it's using all of these different technologies together for the first time. So hopefully we can use that in our favor and not against us.
Of course, that is the hope, no? And what should be like the most interesting technologies that you have seen out there that that are helping to, well, I don't know, in Vegas or high something, to use less energy or to be, what are the things that have been, get you more of your attention?
Well, one thing that I think is really fascinating is the push for renewables. But
Right.
we had one of our panelists on our Green Things Summit that had a 3D printed solar panel. And so 3D printing and additive manufacturing is something that's of real interest to me because we're in the past, we manufacture a lot of things and we don't really know if people are going to want them or not, but we just make
That's
them
right.
just in case they want to buy them. And then it goes to the lowest bidder where with 3D printing, you can make it on demand. So I think that if we look for a sustainable path forward, 3D printing would definitely be right at the top of the list for me. Also, Agriculture 4.0. We had a great panel from Rob Tiffany who spoke about all of the changes happening for our agriculture. And there's many things that happen on the farm where it's better soil monitoring. They can maximize their crop yields and lots of things happening there, as well as automation, which I'm not a huge fan of automating all the farmers. I'd like to see all the farmers stay on the farm. But there are some really interesting things happening here in Las Vegas. We had another guest that was talking about his vertical farm solution, which is really cool. So in many businesses in Las Vegas, they're using these crates and then they're repurposing them as different mini farms where they can stack, they can be as high as they want. You can go in and put all kinds of sensors in there so you can create a digital twin and you can monitor your crop yield from anywhere. And it is all automated where it's watering the plants or at least following up on whoever's doing the watering to make sure it's getting enough water and the right nutrients. So some very interesting things happening there.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, of course, we love our farmers and we, love people who, love to be in that industry. But sometimes, I would say, some parts of the world, are completely cold. And I don't know if you could be farming, with too cold, but when it's very hot, you can still, have produce, have, lettuce or any kind of vegetable, citrus, but people cannot be working. Maybe automation can apply for these, opportunities. Maybe they pick when it's not too hot or, at the beginning of the day. But, sometimes, I think farming is going to be extremely dangerous because the heat waves, right?
Well, especially in Las Vegas. It's really hot here, so it would be difficult to do a lot of the farming that's possible in other parts of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how long have you been doing sustainability? So it seems to me like this is a big passion for you, right?
It's a huge passion of mine. And I think ever since I was a little girl, I've always known that, the earth is top of mind and tried to find ways to help protect the earth and been a part of all the Earth Days and anything that's just earth related. So it's always been a passion of mine. And so now I just get a chance to talk to people from around the world about it and push some really innovative concepts forward.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great match, that you bring, your passion with your marketing skills, no? And could you tell us a little bit about your next summit and what you have on plan? What you have on mind for the next summit?
So we have a Summit of Things event, and this will be our first 3-day summit. And we're going to keep it a little shorter by day so that people can still get done whatever they need to. rather than just cram it into just one day. But we'll
Right.
have different focuses. So we'll talk about IoT and the Internet of Things in general. We'll talk about like IoT 101 and then how to make money with IoT. Everyone likes to make money. So, I mean, that's a
That's right.
no-brainer there. But then we'll also talk about how to make data-driven decisions, how to use data better, how to maximize your data. And we'll also have a focus on AI because there's so much happening with AI right now.
Of course.
And that's another dangerous area. So I know
That's
Chat
right.
GPT can be used for a ton of different things and it's got so much potential, but we're also facing that artificial general intelligence. It's this really fine line. So we're going to have some really interesting sessions about that. And then we're also going to have a day that's specifically designated for sustainability and
Wow.
different green initiatives. So,
And that's going to be a live event, or it's going to be live?
yeah, it'll be live and it'll be in a
Excellent, yeah.
virtual
And
platform.
that's
where you
going to
can
be
chat
on
with others
Vegas?
and network.
Is that
No,
going to be in
it'll be
Vegas?
live, but it'll be virtual.
Okay.
Virtual only.
Virtual. Excellent. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because, like our friends with Knox, they do have a couple of things. They do have live events and they do have tons of hybrid events, So I think it should be a good opportunity, to bring people. And I wonder if Sergio, Brenda, are you there? Maybe you can come with some questions and tell us about a little bit about what Knox does on sustainability. Yeah, because I think they are doing all the things considered, they are, running, the music, the bar, the drinks, all the things, at the same time, but Brenda, Sergio, any questions, any comments about Tiffany, please? Yeah, it looks like they will be around, but I think has been a really good information. Let me see if I can have your website again. I'm gonna try to get it. Do you want to share your screen? Do you see the option to share the screen at Tiffany, or you want me to do it?
You're welcome to share it. It's IoT MKTV.
Okay. Let me just close a window real quick, and I will try. I have it over here, and I think I'm gonna start here with the main page, and then from that you tell me where we should go.
Okay.
And of course, we want to share your information as well.
Watch the Green Things Summit that we just held, since your audience seems to really like sustainability.
Okay.
And there are many great sessions to highlight. I mean, the opening session gives a really clear picture of what's happening overall. We've got a smart city expert, Bill Pugh, that talks about everything from green smart city strategies to what's happening in sustainability as a whole and how cities are using sustainable approaches. We have Vince Bradley, who talks about ESG and something he's created called EIoT, and Bryson, who has Orbital Farm, and that's a space strategy using space strategies on Earth. So some really interesting conversations there, as well as like the circular economy. And we had some speakers from Siemens talking about hydrogen to H2, the green hydrogen revolution. Wow. And Kasturi Gamatham from Shell is talking about smart transportation. Our CEO and founder, Johannes Beekman, talks about AIoT and how that's used for sustainability. I've got a session on the green technology strategies. We've got one from Triodos on edge computing and how that's more green or less green and exactly what the myths and truths are behind that. And we've got Aichen Cheng, who talked about global megatrends. So that was fascinating. And if you do get to watch that session, there's an image in there with this wave. And I'm not going to blow it for you, but it is a little bit frightening, but at least you know what's coming at it. But yeah, some great sessions. So I encourage everyone to check that out as well as.
And you have some archives. So the people who were not able to go to the event, you have also access to the archives. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you can actually attend the virtual event on the platform that it was created on and still interact with all of the content and even network with other participants that are using the platform. And that'll be active for at least another 30 days. And then you could also watch the content on demand if you prefer.
In demand, excellent, very good, perfect. And how many sessions do you have? How many sessions do you have? Like people can, get an idea the amount of value that they get when they purchase the training.
There's over 20 sessions.
20 sessions, excellent. That's really good. That's really good, excellent. And of course, I think I don't think I'm doing a great job, playing with the platform, but this is the site. The site, again, I'm going to spell it and I'm going to put it, of course, with the people with Knox, is EOTMKM as in kilo TG.com. And also I'm gonna try to see if I can share your information so people can find your LinkedIn. I want to make sure that if that's okay that I share your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, excellent. So we can
And it's
have
just
your
like
information here.
IoT, so Internet of Things. And then if you thought of marketing, it's just marketing without the A and the E and the I. So it's IoTMKTG.
Okay, that's completely right. That's completely right. So here we have the wonderful LinkedIn profile, with Tiffany Nielsen. And here's, of course, the company. I bet that you have like a LinkedIn page, with all the information, and I think we have the page here. So we have LinkedIn, we have the web page.
I can't see anyway. I'm not sure if the audience can see, but I can't.
Okay, I think we. Let me see if I think we were able to see it. Hopefully we were able to see it.
Okay.
So, okay, this is the site. And then from the site, I think it's supposed to be a screen. I will double check. Otherwise, we will be sharing that with the people that we have on the session. But also we have your LinkedIn profile. Let me double check that I have it. And then let's see over here. It takes
If
me a
anyone
minute.
wants to participate or if they want to attend, I'm happy to answer any questions about either one. So we're always looking for international speakers to give us a bigger picture of what's happening out there. So
absolutely. And if somebody wants to be a speaker, what are the steps to be a speaker? And to be a sponsor, what are the steps? And which is the profile of company that should be a speaker or sponsor? Yeah.
Reach out to me and schedule a call, and we'll figure out what the best path forward is. The speaking opportunities are really for people that are speaking about a topic that they're experts in.
Right.
So that's more of a thought leadership perspective. But if you have a business and a solution that you want to get seen and you want leads from, that's where our sponsorship opportunities come in. And I'm happy to have a phone call and talk to you about both of the options and see what's the best fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like in Mexico, the one that I can recall, because that's where we have the majority of, audience on this session. They do have a property in Germany, but I think that's more like a residential more than co-working. But I see companies in Mexico who, for instance, have a technology about earthquakes. Earthquakes is a big thing, so they have, notification systems, ways to monitor earthquakes. And of course, other things, because we have the same challenge that we have on Arizona and Vegas, we have them on Mexico. We have floods, we have, heat waves, so I bet there's some companies out there who have a technology. Another thing that I see from companies in Mexico, they have the IT staff that could be coming to implement the companies who, are running something, so these projects, when there's a, big project, of course, you need to have a call center who, could be supporting, for tech support, for customer service, as well as, as developing and supporting any kind of technology. So I mean, like, there should be some companies in Mexico who have a good size, have a little bit of, presence in the US, but of course they need your help to do bigger and better, no?
Absolutely. As well as any telecom companies or wireless companies, anything that has to do with communications or technology of any form, or even anybody that has a solution that can assist these technology companies. I know that one company that we highlighted a few years ago had a solution for outsourcing their IT and app development. So, I mean, we're open to discussing anything from those kind of options to anything mobile, anything technology, anything IoT, anything.
Absolutely. And can you repeat just your website, email address, contact information so we have it?
Sure. It's IoTMKTG.com.
Right.
And then my name is Tiffany Nielsen, and that's spelled TIFFANINEILSON. And you can find me on LinkedIn, or my email address is TNEILSON@IoTMKTG.com.
Beautiful. Well, that was lovely. So thank you very much, Tiffany. I think we have a great meeting. I don't know if Sergio's around here. I think we're on time. Is there anything else that you want to add for today, Tiffany?
No, thank you so much for your time, and I hope we can do this again soon. And thank you to everyone for watching.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So we'll see you soon. Talk to you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much.